In the late 1950s, the lesbian rights movement began. During that period of time, first-wave feminism emerged around the late 50s and early 60s. Lesbians tried to become feminists, but feminists gave lesbians harbored hostile attitudes because feminists thought of lesbians to be more sexual than political, as straight women. Feminists also rejected lesbians because of race and religion. A group called the Lavender Menace rebelled against second-wave feminists who rejected them. NOW, or the National Organization for Women, were fighting for women's liberation, but they excluded lesbian rights from their list of causes. Betty Friedan explained that homosexuality wasn't what the women's movement was all about, and would stereotype the group as man-hating lesbians. The phrase Lavender Menace describing the lesbian cause as a threat to overall women's liberation. As a result of this purposeful exclusion, a group of lesbian feminists reclaimed the hurtful phrase and used it to define their own movement. The Lavender Menace targeted the second wave Congress to unite women. There were no lesbians in the lineup, which made the Lavender Menace outraged and decided to crash the causes and promote their own cause. The form of this type of social activism is called ease-act. In the memoir Tales of the Lavender Menace, Carla J. describes ease-act. On May 1st, 17 lesbian women stood in the aisles of an auditorium at Manhattan Intermediate School 70. The 17 women wore shirts that were hand-dyed in various shades of purple, then silkscreened with the words Lavender Menace. Carla J. shouted to the estimate of 300 to 500 women, "Yes, yes, sisters, I'm tired of being in the closet because of the women's movement." Rita Mae Brown yelled to the audience, "Who wants to join us?" 7 women shouted yes. The audience was on their side, including many incredible women, also including well-known activists Rita Mae Brown, Martha Shelley, Carla J., Judy Karzana, and Barbara Love. The woman who created the Lavender Menace was Rita Mae Brown. Brown held an administrative position at the National Organization for Women, or called NOW. She quit the National Organization for Women, or such as NOW, when its president Betty Friedan made a homophobic remark about lesbian movement. In 1970, the Lavender Menace changed their names to the Radical Lesbians and developed a more female separative point of view, which means they believed in separation of all men, gay or straight. Heterosexual women, which is called. This extreme form of feminism and lesbianism became too much for some members. The Radical Lesbians disbanded after Christopher Street Liberation Day parade in 1971. After that, Rita Mae Brown moved to Washington, D.C. and formed another group called the Furies with her friend Cynthia Funk. The Furies had the same female separative beliefs just like the Radical Lesbians, making them controversial among the lesbian community. The Furies were well known for their nationally distributed newspaper called the Furies Collective, which covered feminist and lesbian topics with articles, poems, and illustrations.